Hey guys, this is Ryan, and this is my week 10 video discussing sexuality and dating. I touched on a lot of this stuff in the video that I did for sex and dysphoria, but yeah, I still have more to add to the topic. So, sexuality and dating. Um, Before coming out, I was in several relationships with women, lesbian relationships. Starting from the time I was about, I think I had my first girlfriend when I was like 14. Um, so that was like really easy. Even though I grew up in a small town, a small farming community, I had more girlfriends when I was not out as being a lesbian than I ever did after I came out as being trans. Um, so dating was like really easy for me. I met lots of girls, met girls through school, and that was like really cool. I I also had some boyfriends in high school too. I think I had my last boyfriend when I was like 16, and it never got physical. Like I got physical with my girlfriends, but I never really achieved any sort of physical intimacy with any guys I dated beyond kissing. Um, and for me, that had a lot to do with the fact that I wasn't really able to make an emotional connection with guys that I knew. I could be friends with them and I could hang out with them, but um, nothing emotional under the surface was going on for me, which made it really difficult for me to engage in any sort of physical intimacy. And I think also a lot of that had to do with the fact that, like, I started realizing when I was about 14 or 15 that there was something that was kind of different about me, but I didn't have any concept of what transgender was, um, nor did I even realize that people could transition. So um, I also felt like I was just like kind of one of the guys, and when a guy did start to express interest in me, it didn't really make any sense because I just saw them as an equal and as a friend. Um, so yeah, dated a bunch of girls, and then when I came out as trans, when I was about, I guess when I was 21, um, I was in my, I don't know, junior year of college, I guess, maybe even my sophomore year. Um, I I came out as trans, and I had a girlfriend at the time, and she was like really ambivalent about transitioning. She didn't want me to change at all, and we had a lot of disagreements and arguments over that. But it was just like this is who I am. I've kind of been hiding who I am for a really long time, and you can either accept it and accept me and continue this relationship, um, or we can't be together anymore because I'm not going to continue to live as female, even though I know in my heart that I'm male. Um, so after we broke up, I was just like, I was totally lost. I had no idea how I was going to um, meet anyone, meet a partner, meet someone that would be interested in me, um, knowing that I was a transgender person. So I started dating again, and it's like really easy for me to meet people in one sense, but in the other, like I'm kind of socially awkward, and I think I'm a bit romantically awkward too, as are most people, I guess. Um, but I'm like definitely not like a go-getter. I don't, it's not like I find someone that I'm attracted to and I just like pursue it. Like I'm definitely not that straightforward in romance. So when I started dating, I was really cautious about it, and I was trying to like get to know the people I was, dating or seeing or potentially going to date, just trying to take that really slow, trying to get to know the person, always disclosing my status, before I made any sort of move romantically. And I mean, it was a good experience for me. I had to go through that, but I also encountered some rejection there too, like two people that I dated after my serious relationship ended basically just said, like, you are really great, you're nice, and I'm attracted to you, but this thing is a deal breaker for me. Like, I am attracted to women, you're not a woman, and that's over. And at the time, I remember being like really kind of pissed off about it. I'm like, well, why would you date me anyway if you're interested in women? Um, but I mean, I guess I realize now that that's something that they had to experience, Like, maybe they truly thought that because I was female assigned at birth and because I was socialized as female, that dating me would be like dating a woman, but with facial hair. I don't know. I have no real insight into that thought process. But that's my only guess. And I'm really glad that they realized early enough on that it wasn't going to work. Like, I'm glad that they could realize that I am male. And if you are a lesbian and you like dating women, that dating me is probably going to be problematic for you. So that was a difficult thing for me though to encounter. Um, so then, like living in the Midwest, where I do live, I'm not by any major metropolis or anything. So the dating pool here is like really small anyway. And then once you start dating as a lesbian here, the dating pool obviously shrinks once again. But then dating as a trans person, it's like sometimes I felt like maybe I had like 10 people to choose from. Like I felt like there was no way I would ever meet someone that would accept me. Um, so then I started trying online dating. And I was like, for me, online dating was a perfect setup. It's like I can disclose my status up front. I could write a profile. I could slap my picture up. And if you're interested, you'll contact me, and we're not going to have this awkward conversation once we've gotten to know each other that, yes, I am male, but if we do get to a level of physical intimacy, I don't want you to be surprised that I don't have typical male anatomy. Um, so that kind of took the pressure off for me, and it was a fun process. I did get some bites from women on my profile and stuff, but I really only ended up talking to one person who ended up being my partner. Um, so it was fun, I guess, while it lasted, but I got out of it what I was seeking, and that was a true partnership and companionship with someone. Um, I'm not really a serial dater. Or at least I don't consider myself a serial dater, and I'm definitely kind of reserved when it comes to my sexuality. And it's very difficult for me to just meet someone, feel comfortable, and then move to a physical relationship. Um, I definitely have to lay a lot of groundwork before that happens. So that was also another way that the online dating thing like worked for me, because there is no, you're not going to have to confront any sort of situation where someone's maybe rushing you a little bit. Because I definitely went on a date where that happened. I went on a date with a woman that I knew and I'd been friends with, kind of casual acquaintances, I guess. And, we were on this date and it turned physical really fast, and I was just like freaking out. I didn't know how to handle it, I didn't know how to respond to it. And she wasn't like, I don't know, she wasn't being rude, and she wasn't making me feel like I was being taken advantage of or anything, but it was definitely too fast for my taste, and I probably should have piped up about it, um, but I didn't. I didn't want to be rude, um, but there was no second date. Um, so yeah, the online dating was great. You know, good way to kind of ease into the dating world again without someone be like in your face, and where you could be very transparent about your identity. And if someone was into that, awesome. But it also helped you weed out a lot of people that weren't into it. Um, and this is also discussing sexuality this week. And I mean, I've always really liked women. Um, I remember even as a kid, I was really attracted to women and to girls. But there were definitely some boyfriends in there. Like, I had lots of boyfriends when I was young. Um, and in middle school, I had some boyfriends, and even through high school, I had some. Um, but because I couldn't achieve that emotional intimacy, um, most of this dating stuff was just kind of like it's kind of like dating a friend that you know, occasionally kiss or something. It was never anything more intimate than that. And I have wondered, mostly after my big breakup with my long term partner a couple of years ago, I was like, well, if I'm going to explore my sexuality, like now is really the time I should be doing it. You know, if I'm interested in dating a guy, now's the time I should try that. Um, the opportunity never really presented itself, and I was never really comfortable enough to, um, I don't know, approach a guy about dating, so it just never happened. Um, and I don't know if some of that is like internalized homophobia. Like, I hope it's not, you know? I hope that I'm more open minded than that. Um, but I also didn't really try super hard to meet any guys that I'd be interested in. Um, but you know, my sexuality is also kind of developed over time. The older I've gotten, and from each relationship, you know, each sexual relationship I've had, I've learned some more things that I like and that I don't like, and I'm a lot more open to trying things now than I was before transitioning. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I am like so comfortable and at peace with my body now. I mean, in the body image video, I discussed, you know, some of my personal gripes about my appearance, you know, being short and balding. But when I think about how I feel about my body on a scale from like 1 to 10, it's a pretty solid like 8.5 or 9. Like, I feel like even if no one else loves my body, I love my body enough to feel comfortable and to explore things that my body wants me to explore, you know? And that's been like a really cool experience for me with transition, is just seeing just seeing how I've evolved over time, and the fact that I'm like letting myself participate in life a lot more. I'm letting myself enjoy things so much more than I ever did. I'm I create um, I create room for possibilities, and I never did that before. Um, so I guess while the dating pool sometimes seems to have shrunk because of my FTM and trans identity, um, my identity at the same time has also really enriched my experience and made me a lot more eager to try new things. So yeah, this is a super long video, so I'm gonna wrap this up now. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next week for week 11. See you then.